My child, this is God. I love you very much. My child, this is God speaking to you now. I love you very much. Not the way the world loves when things are easy, not the way people love when you are useful to them, but with a steady love that has watched you breathe through moments you thought would break you. This message is not loud because truth does not need volume. It arrives quietly because your soul has learned how to listen in silence. You are not here by accident. You are reading this because something inside you has been asking questions your lips never spoke. I have seen you when no one else was watching. I saw the strength you carried when you felt empty. I saw you show up for others even when you yourself needed comfort. You did not turn cold. You did not become cruel. You did not let disappointment turn into bitterness. That choice mattered. You may think no one noticed, but I did. I always do. Every time you chose dignity over drama, patience over reaction, integrity over shortcuts, it shaped the path ahead of you. There were seasons when you felt ignored, as if your efforts disappeared into nothing. You wondered if your goodness made any difference at all. You questioned whether staying true was worth the cost. Hear me clearly now, nothing you did with a sincere heart was wasted. What felt like delay was not denial. What felt like silence was not abandonment. I was protecting you from outcomes you could not yet see, from attachments that would have drained you, from paths that looked promising but carried hidden wounds. I know the nights you lay awake replaying conversations in your mind, wondering if you should have spoken differently, acted faster, chosen another road. I know how often you blamed yourself for things that were never your responsibility. I saw you apologize even when you were not wrong, simply because you wanted peace. That humility shaped your spirit, but now I am teaching you balance. Peace does not require self-erasure. Love does not demand you disappear. You have grown quietly. Not in ways the world applauds, but in ways that matter. You learn to listen more than you speak. You learn to observe without judgment. You learned when to step back instead of pushing forward. These lessons did not come easily. They came through disappointment, through misunderstandings, through moments when you felt unseen. Yet here you are, still standing, still soft, still capable of love. That is rare. That is precious. My child, you are entering a season where your calm will unsettle those who expected you to break. Your silence will speak louder than explanations. People who once overlooked you will begin to sense something different about you, something grounded, something steady. They may not know how to name it, but they will feel it. This is not because you changed to impress anyone. It is because you stayed true when it was hardest. There are things aligning around you that you cannot yet measure. Conversations you have not heard are happening. Decisions are being reconsidered. Hearts are shifting. Do not rush the unfolding. Timing is not a punishment. It is precision. I am arranging what needs to meet you at the right moment, when you are ready to receive it without losing yourself. You may have felt lately as if something is ending. You are right. A chapter shaped by overthinking, by self-doubt, by waiting for external validation is closing. You do not need to prove your worth anymore. You do not need to chase recognition. What is meant for you will recognize you naturally. What is aligned will not require you to beg or bend. I know there were relationships that taught you painful lessons. Some people came close only to reveal where your boundaries were weak. Others left without explanation, leaving questions you carried alone. Understand this now, not every loss is a failure. Some departures are deliverance. Some endings are protection disguised as heartbreak. You were not abandoned, you were being redirected. Rest your heart, my child. You have been strong for so long that you forgot how heavy it was. Lay that weight down. Trust does not mean knowing every step ahead. It means believing that the ground will meet you when you move. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you were always meant to be. I am proud of you, not for what you achieved, but for who you remained when circumstances tried to change you. I am proud of your restraint, your compassion, your quiet courage. Continue walking gently, but do not doubt your strength. Continue loving deeply, but do not forget your worth. I am with you in ways you cannot always feel, guiding you even when you think you are alone. Listen carefully now. The peace you have been seeking outside is growing within you. The clarity you have been waiting for is forming slowly, like dawn. Do not rush the sunrise. Let it arrive fully. Everything that truly belongs to you is already finding its way. And through it all, remember this truth above every other voice: you are deeply known, carefully guided, and endlessly loved. My child, stay with me a little longer. Do not rush past this moment. There are things your soul needs to hear now, things that cannot be whispered quickly. I know you are used to holding yourself together, used to moving forward even when your heart asks for rest. But this moment is different. This is not a message to entertain you. This is a message to awaken you. I know how often you felt like you were giving more than you were receiving. How you showed up with honesty while others came with masks. You questioned whether being real in a world of pretenders was a mistake. Hear me clearly now. Your sincerity was never weakness. It was preparation. You were learning discernment. You were learning to see through energy, not words. You were learning who is safe and who only appears kind. There were times you felt like you were standing still while everyone else was moving ahead. Careers advancing. Relationships forming. Lives unfolding. And you wondered what was wrong with you. Nothing was wrong. You were being refined, not rushed. Some people grow fast and shallow. You were growing slow and deep. That depth will hold you steady when surface-level success collapses for others. You have a way of loving that is rare. When you care fully. When you commit sincerely. That intensity scared people who were not healed enough to receive it. So they pulled away. Not because you were too much, but because they were not enough for the level you carry. Do not shrink your heart to fit spaces that were never built to hold you. I saw every time you almost gave up, and I saw what stopped you. Not motivation. Not praise. Something deeper. A quiet knowing that you were meant for more than survival. That knowing came from me. Even when you doubted yourself, a small voice inside kept you going. That voice was never random. It was guidance. You are more protected than you realize. Things that could have destroyed your peace were quietly removed from your path. Situations that looked promising but carried hidden chaos were blocked at the last moment. You may have called it bad luck. It was mercy. You may have called it delay. It was divine timing. There is a shift happening inside you now. You feel it, even if you cannot explain it. You are less reactive, less desperate, less willing to settle. You no longer chase clarity from people who refuse to be honest. You are learning that silence can be an answer, and distance can be a blessing. This is growth. This is strength forming quietly. I know you wanted certain answers sooner. You wanted reassurance. You wanted someone to choose you without hesitation. That desire was not wrong. But understand this: what is coming toward you now will not make you question your worth. It will not confuse you. It will not require you to compete or prove yourself. It will meet you in peace, not anxiety. Do not underestimate how much your energy has changed. People can feel it. Some will be drawn to it. Others will be uncomfortable around it. Let both reactions happen. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to be aligned with what is true. There will be moments ahead when old memories resurface, trying to pull you back into self-doubt. Do not engage with them. Those chapters taught you what you needed to learn. They no longer define you. You are not the person who begged for clarity. You are not the person who tolerated inconsistency. You are not the person who stayed where you were not valued. You have outgrown that version of yourself. I am teaching you how to receive now. Not just give. Receive rest. Receive love. Receive opportunities without guilt. You do not have to struggle to deserve good things. You do not have to suffer to prove your worth. You have already proven your heart through endurance. Watch carefully how life begins to respond differently to you. Doors opening without force. People speaking honestly without you asking. Situations resolving without chaos. This is what alignment feels like. Calm. Clear. Grounded. It may feel unfamiliar at first because you are used to turbulence. But peace is not boring. Peace is powerful. You are not meant to live in constant anticipation of loss. You are meant to build something steady. Something real. Something that does not disappear overnight. And you will. Step by step. Without rushing. Without fear. Remember this when doubt tries to speak louder than truth: I have never left you. Not in your confusion. Not in your loneliness. Not in your waiting. I was there in every quiet decision you made to stay kind. I was there when you chose healing over revenge. I was there when you chose growth over comfort. Stay present now. Do not scroll past this moment internally. Let it settle. Let it root itself in you. You are becoming someone who no longer needs to be saved, because you have learned how to stand. And yet, you are never alone. I love you very much, my child. More than words can explain. More than fear can erase. More than time can diminish. Walk forward gently. What is meant for you is already closer than you think. My child, breathe with me for a moment. Let the noise around you soften. Let the urgency you carry in your chest slow down. You have been strong for so long that strength became automatic, and rest began to feel unfamiliar. But you do not have to be alert every second anymore. You are safe in this moment. I am here. I know how deeply you feel things. I know how a single word can stay with you for days, how a small shift in someone's tone can make you wonder what you did wrong. You have always been perceptive, tuned into what others miss. That sensitivity was never meant to wound you. It was meant to guide you. But for a long time, you turned it inward as self-blame instead of outward as wisdom. That season is ending. You are learning now that not every silence is yours to fill. Not every distance is your responsibility to cross. Some gaps are intentional. Some pauses are invitations for others to reveal who they truly are. You no longer need to chase explanations from people who benefit from keeping you uncertain. Your peace is becoming more valuable to you than answers that cost you your self-respect. I have seen how you tried to be everything for everyone. How you adjusted yourself to keep connections alive. How you dimmed your needs so others could feel comfortable. You called it love. But love does not require you to disappear. Love does not ask you to abandon yourself. I am teaching you a different kind of strength now. The strength to stay whole even if someone walks away. There will be moments ahead when people from your past resurface. Not because they have changed, but because you have. Your growth will remind them of what they avoided in themselves. Do not let nostalgia blur your discernment. You do not need to reopen doors you closed for your own healing. Some chapters are meant to stay complete. I know you sometimes wonder if you are too slow, too thoughtful, too careful for this world. You see others move fast, take risks without thinking, speak without filtering. And you question whether your depth is a disadvantage. It is not. Your pace protects you. Your thoughtfulness saves you from chaos. Your awareness keeps you aligned. What takes longer to build lasts longer. You are shedding an old identity now. The one who waited for permission. The one who needed reassurance to move forward. The one who feared being misunderstood. You are becoming someone who trusts their inner knowing even when it stands alone. That transition can feel lonely. But loneliness during growth is not punishment. It is space being made. Listen carefully. There is a difference between isolation and solitude. Isolation drains you. Solitude strengthens you. What you are experiencing now is not abandonment. It is preparation. You are being cleared of distractions so you can recognize what truly resonates with you when it arrives. I know your heart still carries questions about love, about connection, about whether someone will meet you at your depth instead of asking you to come up to the surface. That question will not remain unanswered. But first, you had to learn how to meet yourself there. You had to stop pouring into people who only visited you in shallow ways. You had to learn how to sit with your own presence without feeling empty. You are not behind in life. You are early for the version of yourself you are becoming. What feels like waiting is actually alignment catching up to your readiness. You would not want the blessings meant for this next season to arrive when you were still doubting your worth. Now, you are learning how to hold good things without fear of losing them immediately. Pay attention to how your reactions are changing. Things that once triggered you now pass through you more quietly. Words that once shook you now feel lighter. This is not numbness. This is mastery. You are gaining emotional authority. You are choosing where your energy goes instead of letting the world decide for you. There will be days when old habits try to pull you back. Overthinking. Replaying. Imagining outcomes that never arrive. When that happens, ground yourself in the present. What is real now is enough. You do not need to solve the future to be safe today. Trust builds one calm decision at a time. You have survived versions of yourself that thought they could not go on. You have healed from moments you once believed would define you forever. Remember that when you doubt your resilience. You are not fragile. You are refined. I am not asking you to rush. I am asking you to stay honest. Honest with yourself about what drains you. Honest about what excites you. Honest about where you feel peace and where you feel tension. Your body already knows what your mind keeps questioning. Listen to it. You will notice opportunities approaching you differently now. They will feel quieter. Less dramatic. More stable. That is because chaos is no longer your teacher. Peace is. Do not mistake calm for lack of intensity. Some of the most powerful shifts happen without noise. You are not meant to carry everyone's expectations anymore. Lay them down. What others assume about your journey does not define it. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to choose yourself without guilt. I want you to understand this deeply now. You are not hard to love. You are simply deep. And depth intimidates those who are afraid to look within. Do not translate their discomfort as your failure. It is not. As you move forward, protect your mornings. Protect your thoughts before the world touches them. Speak kindly to yourself. The way you talk to yourself sets the tone for what you allow into your life. You do not need harshness to improve. You need clarity. There will come a moment when you realize you are no longer waiting. You are living. And that realization will feel subtle at first. A sense of steadiness. A quiet confidence. A trust that does not need constant proof. That is when you will know the work you have done internally has taken root. I am guiding you toward connections that feel mutual. Toward conversations that do not leave you drained. Toward commitments that do not require self-betrayal. But you must continue choosing alignment over attachment. What is meant for you will not ask you to abandon your peace. Do not be afraid of your softness. It is not a liability. It is your strength when paired with boundaries. You are learning that balance now. Compassion without self-sacrifice. Love without loss of self. Presence without pressure. Stay with me in this unfolding. Not every answer needs to arrive today. Trust that what is unclear now will make sense later without forcing it. You are not lost. You are becoming. And through every step, remember this truth, even when doubt tries to speak louder. You are seen. You are guided. You are protected. You are deeply, endlessly loved. My child, stay present. Do not let your mind rush ahead or drift backward. Right now is where your power is returning to you. I know you spent a long time living in anticipation of answers, of change, of relief, of someone finally understanding you. That anticipation trained your nervous system to stay alert, to wait for impact. But you are stepping out of survival mode now. You are learning how to exist without bracing yourself for disappointment. That shift is subtle, but it is profound. I know how often you questioned your own instincts. How you ignored your inner voice because you wanted to believe the best in others. You gave chances where boundaries were needed. You explained yourself where silence would have been wiser. You stayed longer than you should have because you believed loyalty could fix imbalance. Do not shame yourself for that. Compassion was your teacher then. Discernment is your teacher now. You are no longer meant to convince anyone of your value. Anyone who requires proof will never truly see you. The right people, the right opportunities, the right environments will recognize you without interrogation. They will feel your sincerity. They will sense your steadiness. They will not rush you or pressure you to perform. They will meet you where you are, not where they want you to be. I know there is still a part of you that fears losing what you love. That fear came from past experiences where stability was temporary and promises were fragile. But understand this now, what is built on alignment does not collapse easily. What is meant for you will not be taken from you suddenly. You are not being set up for another lesson in pain. You are being invited into a lesson in trust. There were moments you felt invisible, even in rooms full of people. Moments where you wondered if your presence mattered at all. It did. It always did. Some people do not acknowledge light because it reminds them of their own darkness. That was never your burden to carry. You were not meant to dim so others could remain comfortable. You are beginning to see how much energy you used to give away unconsciously. Through worry. Through over-explaining. Through emotional labor that was never reciprocated. That energy is returning to you now. You may feel it as tiredness at first. As a desire to be alone. As a need to simplify. This is not withdrawal. This is recalibration. Do not be afraid of becoming selective. Selective is not selfish. Selective is sacred. You are learning that access to you is a privilege, not an entitlement. Not everyone deserves your vulnerability. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your becoming. I know your heart still wants connection. That has not changed. But now you want connection without confusion. Depth without drama. Intimacy without instability. And that is exactly what you are aligning with. The old patterns cannot follow you into this season. They will try, but they cannot stay. Pay attention to how your standards are changing. You are no longer impressed by words alone. You watch consistency. You notice how people behave when they do not need anything from you. You trust actions more than intentions. This is wisdom earned, not bitterness formed. There will be times when growth feels quiet, almost anticlimactic. You expected fireworks, but instead you get calm. You expected intensity, but instead you get clarity. Do not mistake this for lack of progress. Peace does not announce itself loudly. It settles gently. You are also learning how to forgive yourself. For staying too long. For hoping too hard. For loving deeply in places that could not hold you. That forgiveness is unlocking parts of you that were frozen in regret. You are not your past decisions. You are the awareness that came from them. I know you sometimes worry that your softness makes you vulnerable to being hurt again. But softness guided by boundaries is not weakness. It is strength refined. You are not closing your heart. You are protecting it so it can open in the right places. Watch how your life begins to simplify. Fewer emotional highs and lows. Fewer unnecessary conflicts. Fewer situations that drain you. This simplicity is not emptiness. It is space. And space allows the right things to enter without crowding. You will notice that you no longer crave validation the way you used to. Compliments feel nice, but they are no longer necessary for you to feel stable. This is self-trust forming. This is internal grounding. This is you becoming your own anchor. There may be moments when people misunderstand your distance. They may call it coldness. They may say you changed. Let them. You did change. You grew. You learned how to choose yourself without hostility. You learned how to walk away without hatred. That is evolution, not ego. I am preparing you for connections that are mutual. Where effort flows both ways. Where silence is comfortable, not threatening. Where love does not feel like a test you have to pass. But you must stay aligned with your truth to recognize them when they arrive. Do not rush intimacy. Do not rush decisions. Do not rush outcomes. What is stable unfolds naturally. You are not missing out by moving slowly. You are avoiding regret. Remember how far you have already come. There was a time you thought you would never feel this grounded. A time when your thoughts controlled you instead of the other way around. A time when your emotions felt overwhelming. Look at you now. Still sensitive, but steadier. Still open, but wiser. You are learning how to be present without overthinking. How to enjoy moments without scanning for threats. How to rest without guilt. This is healing integrating into your daily life, not just your understanding. There will still be challenges. Growth does not eliminate difficulty. But it changes how you meet it. You no longer panic at discomfort. You observe. You respond. You trust yourself to navigate it. I want you to know this deeply now. You are not waiting for life to begin. It has already begun. This chapter is not about proving anything. It is about embodying who you already are. Stay with this truth when doubt whispers otherwise. You are not alone in this unfolding. You are being guided with precision. You are being supported in unseen ways. You are being prepared for a life that feels steady, not chaotic. And above all, remember this, my child. You are loved without condition. Not for what you do. Not for how well you endure. But simply because you exist. Carry that knowing with you. Let it anchor you. Let it quiet you. Let it guide every step forward. My child, listen to me closely now. There is a quiet turning point happening inside you, and it does not announce itself with noise or drama. It feels almost ordinary at first, which is why many miss it. But this moment is sacred. You are no longer becoming who you were meant to be. You are beginning to live as that person. There was a time when your days were shaped by anticipation and fear at the same time. You hoped for good things, yet you braced yourself for disappointment. Your heart learned to multitask, dreaming while defending itself. That is exhausting. I saw how tired that made you, even when you smiled and said you were fine. I am not asking you to be strong like that anymore. I am asking you to be honest with yourself. You do not need to rehearse worst-case scenarios to stay safe. You do not need to analyze every interaction to keep control. Control was your shield when trust felt risky. But now you are learning something deeper. Safety does not come from control. It comes from self-trust. And that trust is growing in you now, quietly, steadily. You are beginning to understand that not every emotional wave requires your full attention. Some thoughts are just echoes from old seasons, trying to stay relevant. Let them pass. You do not need to argue with them. You do not need to prove them wrong. Your present state already answers them. I know you sometimes look back and wonder why certain things had to hurt so much. Why lessons came wrapped in loss. Why growth demanded letting go. Understand this now. You were never being punished. You were being refined. The fire was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to remove what was not truly you. There were parts of your identity that formed around survival. The overgiver. The peacemaker. The one who stayed quiet to keep harmony. Those roles kept you safe once. But they are too small for you now. You are not meant to shrink your truth to maintain connection. Real connection can hold honesty without breaking. You may notice that your tolerance for inconsistency is disappearing. Things that once confused you now repel you. Situations that once pulled you in now feel heavy. This is not you becoming rigid. This is you becoming aligned. Your nervous system recognizes what drains you and what nourishes you. Trust that intelligence. I know there is still tenderness in you. Do not mistake that tenderness for fragility. It is strength with feeling. You are capable of depth without drowning. You are capable of love without losing yourself. You are capable of care without sacrifice. These balances are forming now because you finally believe you deserve them. You are also learning how to let people be who they are without trying to change them. This does not mean you accept mistreatment. It means you stop investing energy in convincing others to meet you where they are unwilling to stand. That release will save you so much time, so much emotion, so much unnecessary pain. Watch how your inner dialogue is changing. You speak to yourself with more patience now. You pause before judging your reactions. You allow yourself to feel without rushing to fix. This is emotional maturity taking root. You are no longer at war with yourself. There will be moments when old patterns knock at the door, asking to come back. Old attachments. Old habits. Old ways of coping. You do not need to fear them. Acknowledge them and choose differently. Each time you do, you reinforce the new foundation you are standing on. I know you sometimes worry that choosing peace will make life dull. It will not. Peace does not remove passion. It removes chaos. From peace, you will create more meaningful intensity, not destructive intensity. You will experience joy that does not come with anxiety attached. You are being prepared for conversations that feel safe, for love that does not confuse you, for work that does not drain your soul. But preparation does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels like stillness. Sometimes it feels like waiting. Sometimes it feels like shedding skin that no longer fits. Do not rush yourself through this shedding. Growth is not a race. It is an integration. Let the lessons settle into your behavior, not just your understanding. Let your choices reflect what you have learned, even when no one is watching. You are not required to explain your healing to anyone. You do not owe justification for your boundaries. You do not owe access to people who only knew you when you were unguarded. Your evolution does not need approval. There will be days when clarity feels strong and days when doubt returns briefly. That does not mean you are going backward. Healing is not linear. It spirals. Each return meets you at a higher level of awareness. You notice faster. You recover quicker. You choose better. I want you to notice something important. You no longer feel the same desperation you once felt to be chosen. That is because you have chosen yourself. From that place, everything else will meet you differently. You are not becoming distant from life. You are becoming intimate with it in a healthier way. You are present. You are grounded. You are learning to enjoy moments without clinging, to release without resentment. This chapter is about embodiment, not explanation. About living what you know instead of talking about it. About trusting the quiet confidence growing in you instead of searching for loud reassurance. Stay here. Stay honest. Stay aligned. You are not missing anything meant for you. You are arriving exactly where you need to be. And remember this, even when the world grows loud again. I am with you in the calm. I am with you in the uncertainty. I am with you in the becoming. You are deeply held, deeply guided, and deeply loved, now, always, and beyond what you can imagine. My child, stay with me. Do not rush away from this stillness just because it feels unfamiliar. Familiarity is not the same as safety. You have lived so long in motion that calm once felt like emptiness. Now you are learning that calm is presence. Calm is clarity. Calm is where your true strength settles. There was a time when you believed your value was measured by how much you endured, by how much you carried without complaint, by how often you chose understanding even when you were hurt. You mistook endurance for destiny. But hear me now. You were never meant to suffer endlessly to prove your worth. You were meant to grow, to learn, and then to rest into alignment. You are beginning to notice something subtle. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to everyone. Silence no longer scares you. Distance no longer feels like rejection. This is because your identity is no longer dependent on external confirmation. You are learning who you are when no one is watching, and that version of you feels solid. I know how much you used to replay moments in your mind, searching for meaning in every pause, every delayed response, every unanswered question. That habit was born from uncertainty. From wanting stability in places that were unpredictable. But now your mind is learning to release what it cannot control. That release is not giving up. It is trusting yourself enough to let go. You are also learning that not everything requires your emotional participation. Some situations resolve themselves when you stop feeding them your energy. Some misunderstandings dissolve when you stop trying to correct them. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you choose where your care is effective. There was a season when you felt like you were constantly adjusting to keep harmony. You bent yourself into shapes that felt uncomfortable because you believed love required flexibility at all costs. But love is not supposed to hurt your posture. Love does not ask you to stay misaligned. Real connection supports your natural shape. You are becoming more honest with yourself now. Honest about what drains you. Honest about what excites you. Honest about where you feel small and where you feel expansive. That honesty is guiding you more accurately than fear ever did. Trust it. You may notice that your circle feels smaller. That is not loss. That is refinement. As you grow, what no longer resonates naturally falls away. You are not meant to carry everyone with you into every season. Some people were companions for a chapter, not the whole story. I know part of you still wonders when the big moment will arrive. When life will finally feel settled, fulfilled, complete. But completeness is not an event. It is a state you cultivate daily. You are already living pieces of the life you once prayed for. Presence is helping you see that. You are learning how to enjoy moments without rushing to the next one. How to appreciate progress without minimizing it. How to rest without guilt. These are not small shifts. These are foundations for a steady life. There will be times when old doubts try to resurface. They will whisper that you are doing something wrong because things feel quieter now. Do not listen. Chaos is not proof of progress. Peace is not stagnation. Growth often feels simple once it integrates. You are also learning to let joy arrive without suspicion. You used to brace yourself when things felt good, waiting for the fall. That vigilance kept you from fully receiving. Now you are practicing something new. Letting happiness exist without immediately questioning it. This is trust rebuilding itself. I know you carry dreams that are still forming. Desires you have not fully named. You do not need to force them into clarity yet. Let them take shape naturally. What is meant for you will feel aligned, not urgent. It will invite you, not pressure you. You are beginning to understand that timing matters more than speed. That arriving ready is better than arriving early. That patience is not passive. It is active preparation. You are preparing your nervous system to hold what is coming without fear. Notice how your reactions are softer now. How you pause before responding. How you listen more deeply. This is wisdom emerging from experience. You are not losing your spark. You are refining it. There was a time you believed being strong meant never needing help. Now you are learning that strength also means knowing when to rest, when to receive, when to allow support. You do not have to carry everything alone anymore. You are not meant to live in constant evaluation of yourself. You are meant to live. To experience. To grow through engagement, not self-criticism. When you stumble, you learn. When you pause, you integrate. There is no failure here. I want you to understand something important. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you were before the world taught you to doubt yourself. Before you learned to shrink. Before you believed you had to earn love. That return is gentle. Let it be. As you move forward, keep choosing alignment over approval. Keep choosing peace over proving. Keep choosing honesty over performance. These choices will shape a life that feels real, not rushed. You may not see the full picture yet. That is okay. You do not need the entire map to take the next step. Trust builds through movement, not certainty. Stay grounded. Stay present. Stay kind to yourself. You are doing better than you think. You are further along than you realize. And remember this, my child, whenever doubt tries to visit again. You are not walking alone. You are guided with care. You are growing with purpose. You are held in love that does not waver. Let that truth accompany you gently, steadily, as you continue forward. My child, this is where I ask you to pause and truly feel what has been unfolding inside you. Not analyze it. Not rush past it. Just feel it. You have come far enough now to recognize that the noise you once lived with is no longer guiding you. Something quieter has taken its place. Something steadier. That is not emptiness. That is alignment. You no longer need constant reassurance to keep moving. You no longer need to be seen by everyone to feel real. The strength you were searching for outside has settled within you. It shows up in how you breathe through moments instead of reacting. It shows up in how you choose calm over conflict. It shows up in how you trust yourself even when answers are not immediate. There was a time when you believed love required effort that exhausted you. That caring meant carrying weight that was never meant to be yours. You know better now. Love that is meant for you will not feel like pressure. It will feel like ease. Like recognition. Like being understood without needing to translate yourself. You are allowed to enjoy where you are without fearing what comes next. You are allowed to feel peace without questioning it. Life is not testing you right now. It is meeting you where you are finally ready to stand. If doubts arise, let them pass without engagement. They are remnants of an old season that taught you lessons you no longer need to repeat. You have learned. You have grown. You have integrated what mattered. From here forward, walk gently. Not because you are fragile, but because you are aware. Protect your peace. Honor your intuition. Choose what feels steady over what feels loud. Trust what unfolds naturally over what demands force. You do not need to chase what belongs to you. It will arrive in the right way, at the right time, without costing you your calm. Stay present enough to recognize it. And remember this above all else, my child. You are not lacking. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be, becoming who you were always meant to be. I am with you in the quiet. I am with you in the clarity. I am with you in the life you are now ready to live. This is enough.